Okay, I'm going to tell you another story about this building here. This is the building that I lived in when I was 2 years old with my parents, right in the top apartment there. That's where I lived, right up there. Um, there's actually a picture of me on that balcony drinking from a bottle of Labatt's 50 Ale, one of my dad's beer bottles, sitting at a table drinking out of the beer bottle. But years later, I was there like in 1970. But years later, I had a friend who lived up there, and the apartment really hadn't changed too much. I still have memories of that apartment, believe it or not. I have a lot of memories from when I was a small child. But the apartment underneath that apartment, underneath there where my friend lived, in that apartment, there was a couple lived in there, and I'm going to tell you this story. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of sad too, really. This couple lived in there, and I noticed, I go to visit my friend, and I'd noticed this, that the man of the couple used to leave. You never saw the woman, but the man used to leave constantly. Every half hour or so, he'd go out, and he'd come back with a bag from a fast food restaurant. A bag from McDonald's, or a bag from Wendy's, or a bag from Tim Hortons, or, whatever, a bag from Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever. He'd come back with a bag from a fast food restaurant, and we'd see him do this. We used to watch him. And turns out the woman of the couple, she was on a mattress in the apartment, and she weighed 700 pounds. And that's what he was doing. He was bringing food for her. And he was just feeding her constantly all day long. And she weighed 700 pounds, the woman did, and she was confined to a mattress. She was in a diaper and everything. That the guy had to change her diaper and all that stuff. She was completely helpless. And I remember one time I happened to be there to visit, and she had taken a bad turn, health-wise. Big surprise, And the ambulance had to come, and they actually took her out of the apartment on a crane. It was like, it looked like a thing you'd use to pull an engine out of a car. If for those of you who have ever been in a garage or ever worked on cars, and the old engine, an engine crane, which is a thing on wheels. It has a couple of legs that go straight out at an angle, and then it's got a big post that comes up, and then it's got an arm that extends from the post with a chain and a hook. And the idea is you lower the chain with the hook, and you hook onto your engine, and you can then jack it up, and you can the arm pivots, and you can basically lift the engine out of the car. And then, of course, you could pull the engine back away from the car because the jack's on wheels, so you can do that. Anyway, it was a setup like that, but instead of where the engine would normally hang, they had like a cloth sling, like a canvas sling. And she was in the canvas sling, kind of hanging there, doing this as they were, rocking back and forth there on the end of the chain as they were taking her out of the building. And that's how they had to take her out of the building. Because a woman weighed, it literally took her out of the building with a crane. With a portable crane. I remember that. Anyway, I don't know what became of those people. I don't know if that lady is still alive or not or what, but my God, what an awful way to live, It's amazing what people will do, and how people will live. And I just can't I can't fathom it. That's how I don't understand it. But obviously there was a problem, there was some emotional issues there. There had to have been. Anyway, that's it. Kind of a funny story, but sad at the same time, All right. Bye for now.